Alright, what's up guys? Bravo 1 back with you again for another one. This is my med pack, and I kind of wanted to do a 2-in-1 little thing here but with the med pack, and then I'm going to go through it a little bit. I got some pretty good medical equipment, bandages, things like that in that little compartment. I got more bandages and whatnot, the larger stuff in this one. Actually, there's an extra magazine in here because I do carry this outside. I got gloves in there. This is a little Fox Tactical side carry bag. I got a little knife in there. Like I said, I always carry knives. I got a multi-tool. You never know when you're going to need it. And I love this thing. Actually, my brother bought this for me a couple years ago. A good amount of time. Maybe 10 years ago. I love it. It's a Gerber. Great, great. Right here, alcohol swabs, pads, things like that. More gloves. You can never have too many gloves, depending on the situation. Go through gloves like a beast. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Basically what it is like a 2,000 piece OSHA kit that a paramedic friend of mine recommended I buy. And then the larger stuff I put in here. And you got the 4x and that good stuff, gauze and all that. But I didn't want to spend too much time on that. You guys can do your med kit however you want. You'll always see in the background of Kilo One's videos my favorite piece of equipment these days. And that, my friends, is the Shemagh. The Shemagh is, there's a million different ways people pronounce it. Shemaghs. But I wanted to show you, that's how it is when it's spread out. I mean, it's a good size. You could use that thing for shelter. You can use it for a towel, maybe a small blanket when you're out in the woods or whatever, survival kind of scenario. And you can see my fingers through it, so it's pretty thin when it's laid out like this. But check it out. What you can do with this guy is, first of all, say you're sleepy. Oh man, I got nowhere to sleep. I got my hammock out. I want to put my head down. You can throw some debris like leaves, things like that, some soft items. Fold it up, tie it off, now you got a pillow. Or you could just take it by itself and kind of just fold it up into a pile. Boom, rest your head on that. You got another pillow. So that's a good thing when you're out in a survival mode, kind of a morale booster if you want some comfort. It can also be used as shelter. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. You just hang this thing on some twigs or something. You can sit underneath it, have a little kind of station where you can gather yourself and maybe get a little bit of a rest in the shade. One of the things I think is really cool about this guy is it's an out-of-the-box kind of thing. I'm one of those guys that likes to think out of the box in a survival scenario. This thing can be used as so many different things. It can be used as a sling. Say you hurt your arm, you need a sling. It can be used as a wrap for your hands. You want to cover a wound or something, you don't have anything to cover it with. You can use this. It can be used as a pressure device in case you got a big bleed. It can be used as a towel. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. I may have. Some of these things I may mention twice just because there's so many. But one of the things I thought was really cool and way out of the box that I was reading about the other day in a survival magazine was they said if you take this guy and you fold it up and you just keep folding it and make it enough so where water can get through, like probably like about that. And you take, a scoop of water from a river or a lake or something and it's dirty, you can use it as a filter for water. That's generally what I'm getting at. You filter it through into something else, another container, take that container, boil it off, you got nice clean water. I thought that was really awesome. So great idea. And I have 2 of these. A lot of guys will have 2 or 3 of these for just in case you got one in use and you need another one. I have 2. I got this one that's an OD green on black. This one here is Pakistani made. I don't know the company because it didn't have it on the package when I got it. I don't know who makes it. But I also have this one that I'm wearing. I'm going to kind of move the camera here. And I have this one. This is the most common way people use these. They use them for wraps on the face or a scarf. You can wrap it around your neck like a scarf. You could actually use 2 at a time. Wrap yourself with it and then put one on as a scarf for extra warmth in case it's cold out. These aren't only for cold. They can be used in the heat too, to keep your sweat to cool off. This thing is also good for all the elements. So if it gets real windy and you get debris kicking up and dust, that's a lot of people will use that for that purpose. Use this for that purpose. So a lot of uses for the wraps. There's a million different ways you can wrap these things on you. This particular way is called the SAS version. It's kind of stealthy looking. It's got a small eye slit, which is why I like it. It's kind of ninja stealth looking. They actually have another version that I like that's called the Ninja. A little easier to wrap than this. This one ties behind the head, so it's a little bit more difficult to coordinate yourself to get it. But if you buy one and you do it yourself, or you have one, you'll know what I'm talking about. But also, the number one thing about these is that when you wrap yourself with it, you look like a badass. I think they look cool as shit. That's just me. Some people may not like the way they look, but I like them. Anyways, back to some of the other uses for these. I'm going to close it out with another out-of-the-box way of thinking. I also read, I'm always reading up on this stuff on the internet when I'm bored. Basically, again, if you were to open this up, maybe you got a couple layers and you have it like this, and you put maybe a rock or something in there, and you wrap this guy up, and you tie it off, you can use it as a weapon. There's a couple different ways you can use it as a weapon, like that, as a blunt force trauma kind of weapon. And then if you were to roll it up, now you got a good 2-foot rope. Obviously you'd want this end to be kind of tied off, but you get the gist of it. If you got a good 2-foot rope, you can wrap it around your hands. Now you got a weapon you can strangle somebody with. You can use it as a defensive weapon. The military actually, I don't know if they do still or not, but they used to teach, I think it was more back in the day, they used to teach 2-foot rope techniques. Excuse me. And the 2-foot rope techniques are pretty brutal. They're also silent, in case you needed to kill somebody in silence or put somebody out. You can choke somebody out with this thing and put them out. Like an enemy sentry that's guarding something like that. But that's kind of the zombie apocalypse kind of scenario. But you never know, man. So I love these things. Again, I have 2 of them. The one I'm wearing is made in India. It is a Rothko. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take it off because it's pretty easy to take off. I'll put them side by side so we can take a look at the difference in quality, because I've been kind of trying to debate which one's a little bit better than the other. I think overall the material on the Rothko one is a little bit better, a little sturdier. It's thicker, which I kind of like. This one's a little bit more thin. I think the pattern on the Pakistani made one is a little bit more detailed. I think they took a little bit more time on that one. And also I think really where you can tell the quality, and this is kind of, I don't know how you measure the quality of a Shemagh, but I kind of was doing a side by side. But where they tie it off, they're kind of tied off the same, but you can see that the thickness of the stitching is totally different. That's why I'm saying this one, the Rothko one, that's made in India. I don't know if I said that yet. This one's made in India. This one's Pakistan. I think the Pakistanis took a little bit more time in the stitching, and the Indians took a little bit more pride in the thickness of it. But it's pretty cool because it's black on black, and it's got the pattern in it. And also, you look like a total badass, I think, when you have the all black one on. You just look like a straight up ninja. And that's obviously more important than anything in survival is how cool you look. Because if you die, you want to die looking cool. So that's That's what I think. Anyways, this one strictly goes into my med pack. I'll probably buy another one, maybe two, in different color schemes, just because I think they're awesome. They're just so useful. I take this one everywhere I go. Today I took this one I went to meet my wife for lunch, and I took this with me and had it in my pocket because I'm always wearing BDUs or cargo pants. And this one I just put straight up in my med pack because I switch them off sometimes, but the OD one I put in the med pack. So, not only an awesome piece of clothing, I guess you would call it, an accessory, but also an awesome tool. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you later.